Have you ever wondered what's really inside a bottle of Coca-Cola? It's not just sugar and bubbles. It's a story of addiction, power, secrets. Coca-Cola isn't just a drink. It's a global empire built on happiness, but hiding something much darker. What if I told you that Coke's success has caused water shortages, health crises, and even death in some parts of the world? This is the dark truth about Coca-Cola. And once you know it, you'll never see that red label the same way again. Part 1. How Coca-Cola really began. Our story starts in the year 1886 in Atlanta, USA. A man named John Pemberton, a pharmacist and former soldier, created a tonic. It was supposed to be medicine to help with headaches and tiredness. And guess what? One of the ingredients in this drink was cocaine. Yes, real cocaine from coca leaves. Back then, it was legal and considered helpful. Pemberton named his drink Coca-Cola from two key ingredients, coca leaves and cola nuts. He never saw how big his creation would become, because just a few years later, he died, poor, addicted to morphine, and forgotten. But someone else saw the gold hidden in that little brown drink. Part 2. The spectacular rise of Coca-Cola. That someone was Asa Candler. He bought Coca-Cola's formula and started a business. Candler didn't just sell Coke, he sold a feeling. He made Coca-Cola look exciting, classy, and joyful. He gave out free samples. He advertised everywhere: newspapers, calendars, billboards. Coke was no longer a medicine. It became a refreshing soft drink. And by the early 1900s, Coca-Cola was already becoming a national hit in America. But they had a problem: the cocaine. Part 3. Cocaine controversy and brand cleanup. People started worrying about drugs. So Coca-Cola removed the cocaine. But here's the twist: they didn't fully drop coca leaves. They worked with one special company that removed the cocaine but kept the flavor. And guess what? To this day, Coca-Cola still uses coca leaves legally. In fact, Coca-Cola is one of the only companies in the world allowed to import coca leaves into the United States. Part 4. The war that made Coca-Cola global. World War II changed everything. Coca-Cola promised that every American soldier could get a bottle of Coke for just 5 cents. They built bottling plants near army bases all over the world. And after the war ended, Coca-Cola stayed in those countries. That's how Coke went global. And what about Germany, where Coke couldn't be shipped during the war? Coca-Cola created a new drink using local ingredients. They called it Fanta. Yes, Fanta was born in Nazi Germany. Part 5. The lucrative business of war. War helped Coke. Every time soldiers went to a new place, Coca-Cola followed. They weren't just selling drinks. They were selling America. Coca-Cola became a symbol of freedom, fun, and peace, even during war. The business grew massively. Billions in profits. Dozens of countries. But all the success came with a dark cost. Part 6. Coca-Cola and addiction. Coca-Cola is sweet. Really sweet. A regular Coke bottle contains about 10 teaspoons of sugar. That much sugar makes your brain release dopamine, the feel-good chemical. So every time you drink Coke, you want more. This isn't just refreshment. This is addiction. And Coca-Cola knew this. That's why they marketed Coke to kids. Catch them young. Make them loyal. Make them addicted. Part 7. The deadly Coca-Cola addiction in Mexico. Now let's go to a small town in Mexico, Chamula. Here, Coke is everywhere. People drink it with breakfast, lunch, dinner, even during religious ceremonies. Why? Because clean water is hard to find. But Coke is cheap and available everywhere. As a result, this town has one of the highest diabetes and obesity rates in the country. Doctors say people are dying from too much Coke. But the locals don't know. They think it's normal. And Coca-Cola? They fund local projects, sponsor churches, and keep selling more. Part 8. Ronaldo's billion-dollar move. In 2021, football legend Cristiano Ronaldo sat down at a press conference. In front of him, 2 Coca-Cola bottles. He looked at them, frowned, and moved them aside. Then he held up a bottle of water and said, "Aguya." Water. Just like that, Coca-Cola's market value dropped by over $4 billion. One simple gesture. One man saying, "I won't promote what I don't believe in." Ronaldo became a hero for health. And Coca-Cola? They faced a PR disaster. Part 9. Coca-Cola's marketing genius and manipulation. Coca-Cola's real power? It's not the drink. It's the brand. They created the modern image of Santa Claus in red and white. They linked Coke with happiness, family, and holidays. They made you feel warm and fuzzy when you see their ads. But behind the scenes, it's cold business. They target children, sponsor sports, and control shelf space in stores. Coca-Cola isn't just selling sugar. They're selling emotions. Part 10. The plastic crisis Coca-Cola helped create. Coca-Cola produces over 100 billion plastic bottles every year. That's more than any other company on earth. Most of those bottles end up in oceans, rivers, and landfills. Coca-Cola says it supports recycling. But here's the problem. They also fight against laws that reduce plastic use. Why? Because plastic is cheap, and profits come first. Meanwhile, our planet suffers. Part 11. The water problem. In many countries, Coca-Cola uses huge amounts of water to make its drinks. In places like India and Mexico, they've been accused of draining local wells. Villagers say their crops are dying. Their children don't have enough water. But the Coca-Cola factory keeps running. Water is life. But Coca-Cola needs water for profit. So who wins? Part 12. New Coke, the mistake that wasn't. In 1985, Coca-Cola made a bold move. They changed the original formula. They called it New Coke. People hated it. There were protests. Customers begged for the original flavor. Just 3 months later, Coke brought back the original. Now called Coca-Cola Classic. Sales shot up. And some people believe it was all a trick. Was it a mistake? Or one of the smartest marketing moves in history? Part 13. Hidden empire. Coke owns more than you think. Did you know Coca-Cola owns more than 500 brands? Sprite, Fanta, Minute Maid, Dasani, Powerade. Even some bottled waters and teas. So even if you think you're not drinking Coke, you might be. It's a hidden empire. Built one sip at a time. Part 14. The failed launch of Dasani in the UK. When Coca-Cola launched Dasani bottled water in the UK, they made a big mistake. People found out that Dasani was just tap water, filtered and sold at a high price. Then they found dangerous chemical levels in the water. Coca-Cola had to pull Dasani from the UK market completely. A total disaster. Part 15. Labor abuse and Killer Coke accusations. In Colombia and other countries, Coca-Cola has faced serious accusations. Union leaders who tried to organize workers at bottling plants were killed. The Killer Coke campaign claimed Coca-Cola didn't do enough to protect its workers. Coca-Cola denies responsibility. But human rights groups continue to raise concerns. Can a drink that brings happiness also cause so much pain? Part 16. The fight with Pepsi Cola wars. For decades, Coca-Cola and Pepsi have been locked in battle, each trying to outdo the other. Coke uses emotion. Pepsi uses celebrities. Sometimes Coke wins. Sometimes Pepsi does. But here's the truth. In this war, both companies make billions. And the real loser might be your health. Final reflection. Coca-Cola is more than just a drink. It's a symbol of joy, of addiction, of war, of business brilliance, and dark consequences. Next time you pick up a bottle, ask yourself, what's really inside? If you found this video eye-opening, share it. Let's make the truth louder than the ads.